Mr. Trump. I was Miss Wisconsin USA in 2005.
Okay.
And,
I can see why.
Thank you. You have been, I just want to say thank you. You saved me in so many ways. And in recent years, I've been struggling with an incurable illness, and I'm on home care now. It was caused by a doctor's medical negligence. And in those dark days, fighting, right now all the tubes have been removed, and I have a do not resuscitate order, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in those days, in the hospital, I received from you a handwritten letter that said, "To the bravest woman I know." And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
You, the outpouring of love that came from that, ultimately provided my son, when he graduates high school, with a full ride to college. And
that's great. I'm sorry, I have to go down and say hello. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Wow, what a great woman that is. Something beautiful is going to happen. You watch.
One of the phrases used, "I alone can fix it." And some people, that sounded almost too strongmanish for them.
I am running against Hillary. It's not like I'm running against the rest of the world. I know people that are very, very capable that could do a very good job, but they could never get elected. I can tell you right now, I can give you 10 names of people that would do an extraordinary job, but there's no way they could ever get elected. They wouldn't know where to begin.
Because I grew up with a home builder. He's a really good home builder. And I used to sit at his knee with blocks, and I'd watch my father or listen to my father negotiate on the phone. By the time I was 14 or 15, I think I could build a home as well as I could build it today. I learned tremendous things from a home builder, from a very good home builder, from a man that loved what he was doing. He didn't like taking vacations because he got bored. He wanted to build another house.
Pastor Jeffress would be on television. They'd say, he was just great. He was always so good on television. And he has a great way of speaking. And it'd say, Donald Trump may not be perfect, but he knows how to win.
And who would think this was never in the cards for me? I mean, if it were, I probably would have had a little softer path. I would have moderated. I wouldn't have spoken to Howard so much and had fun. But people get it, you know. Look, we're living in the real world. People get it. A home builder taught me everything I know. Essentially, now I've learned and I've grown and I've done things, and he would be very proud to see that we're running for the presidency and we beat a lot of people to get to this position. You know, nobody else understood it. They're all trying to say, what's going on with Trump? I understand it. I grew up, you know, my father was a builder in Brooklyn and Queens, and I would work on jobs, and I got to know, people say, why do you relate so well to like carpenters and electricians? I mean, I grew up with them. I know them better. Frankly, I don't like the rich people so much, if you want to know the truth. He said, he is not a true conservative. Who cares? We want to straighten out our country. You know, a true conservative. What's a true conservative? A friend of mine from North Carolina said, Don, please, I wish this election was over with. I can't, every single commercial is about you. Negative ads. And he knows they're not true. Maybe a little bit true. But mostly, honestly, mostly not true. It's made up stuff. And so she's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ads. Hundreds of millions. And a new poll just came out this morning that has us essentially very close to even. And I haven't spent anything. In fact, I have ads, you know, whatever the number is that she's got, just hundreds. And they have Trump, 0. I said, that's okay. That's okay. We sit back and wait. But we're doing, I think we're doing really very well. Maybe better than anybody fully understands.
We have more votes than ever cast in the primaries in the history of the Republican Party. Now, it's a rigged system, a terrible, corrupt, and rigged system. It's run by the party leaders so that very capable outsiders can't get into the party. It's run by the special interest, by the lobbyists, so they can continue to make millions of dollars off these characters running for office like Cruz. We're winning by so much that even though it's a crooked system, even though it's a totally rigged deal, both parties. You know, I've been doing this for a fairly short period of time. I've never seen lying and deception and all of the things like this. I've been in business, and they're no angels. And frankly, they're much tougher people. But I've never seen lying and deception like you see in politics. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's really terrible. And on top of everything else, what else did we get out? Other than a total destabilization, a total mess, thousands and thousands of our lives and other lives, their lives, thousands and thousands of our young people's lives destroyed. Tens of thousands of wounded, where they're wounded so gravely. They're the bravest people I've ever seen. They have a better attitude in life than I do. Some of these people, they have the best attitude I've ever seen. $500 billion, okay? Now, negotiated by fools. I mean, maybe they have a conflict of interest, I don't know. In which case it'd be dishonest, not fools, okay? That would be even worse. But negotiated by hacks, political hacks. They think we're a bunch of dummies. Now, I've negotiated a lot with China. I got people that are better than anybody. They're the best in the world. They're very rich people. They don't want money. They don't want anything. They want to play the chess game. You know, they like it. They want to play the game. And you know, those deals are bigger than any corporate deal. A deal like that, trade with China, you can take all your steel companies, everything else, put them together. It's like a peanut compared to it. These people would love to do it. It's a real problem because if the police do 100,000 great jobs and they have one, either a rogue policeman or a cop was poorly trained or did a bad job, you see that incident on television for weeks. It's a real problem. You don't see the good work that they do, but if they make one mistake out of 100,000, out of more than that, it's on television night after night after night.
Hey, do we love our police? Do we love our firemen? We love our police, we love our firemen. They do an amazing job. They don't get credit for the job they do.
The system is rigged. And I'll tell you, the biggest rigger of the system is the media. The media is rigged. It's rigged. It's crooked as hell.
How about the story they did a week ago about Donald Trump and women, and then all the women came back and they said, that's not true. We love Donald Trump. Right? Right? The story was a fraud.
You know, these politicians, they don't know me. They don't understand me. These are 50 people that have been running our country forever. And they said, we can't support Donald Trump. The reason they can't, you know why? Because I'm not going to hire these people. I don't want these people. Take a look. So the hedge funders. Now, I know the hedge funders, many of them. Some are friends of mine. Many are buying apartments from me. I got them all over the place. They're in my clubs. Nothing wrong. But these are killers, folks. These are not people that say, Hillary, I'm giving you $5 million because I think you're so wonderful. They don't want that. She doesn't have the talent to do it. And if she wanted to do it, just remember this, and I think very importantly, if she wanted to do it, she couldn't because her donors wouldn't let her. They're working for them. They want that for them. They're not looking for the country. So by my putting up money from my campaign, I financed my primaries. I'm financing now this. Hillary Clinton's a disaster. I'd love to see a woman become president, and it will happen, absolutely. But I think it would be bad for women if it were Hillary Clinton. Yes, ma'am? Hillary Clinton has not had a news conference in, I think it's 242 days, okay? She doesn't do news conferences because she can't. Because for a number of reasons. But number one, she's so dishonest. She doesn't want the people peppering her with questions. So she doesn't do news conferences. It's a disgrace. I think it's 242 days.
Remember when I first announced, they said, do you think Trump is serious? And the pundits would say, well, he's not going to run. And then if he runs, so then I announced I was running. But if he runs, he's only going to have fun for a couple of weeks, build up his brand, my brand. I get killed. I had such a beautiful brand. I get killed with my brand with this stuff. Hillary has raised $1 billion and plans to raise more than $1 billion, and she will do negative ads all over the place.
And I said to myself, you know, I came in first place and spent the least. Somebody else came in last and spent the most. And then you say to yourself, who the hell do you want as your president, right? You know. Really. I mean, I'm a businessman, so when the housing market goes down, I guess what she'd like to do, you see, if she did it, she'd want to buy at the top. I like it. If it goes down, it goes down. Hey, I feel badly for everybody. What am I going to do? I'm in business, okay? Never thought I was going to run for office. I even said things. I mean, I joke with friends and this and Howard Stern and everybody. We have fun.
And you know, honestly, I didn't need this. This I didn't need. I had a nice life, built a great company. Some of the great real estate assets of the world. I may never see them. You know, if I win, I may never see them again. And I love them all over the world.
We have a very, very dishonest media. I do want you to remember that, because when you read, like you'll read this story tomorrow, and you'll hear this and that, you'll hear everything very different from what we all know was said. Like the baby. Like that beautiful baby. I love that baby. I love that baby. And an amazing man. And he said, Mr. Trump, I want you to have this. I took it and I said, I can't believe this. This is really one of the most beautiful things that I've ever received. And from the heart. So much from the heart. So much from the heart. And then the next day I see where the media is saying, it's a replica, it's this, it's that. And I have a bigger heart than anybody in this room, or as big. We want to do safe zones in Syria. I will get the Gulf states who are not doing much, believe me. The Gulf states have nothing but money. I'm going to get them to pay. We owe $19 trillion. We're not paying for it. We're not paying. They're going to pay. They are going to pay. It was a rigged race. It was totally rigged. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz rigged it for Hillary Clinton. And the sad part is Bernie Sanders has, to use an old word that I use on occasion, he's lost his energy.
Somebody said, why are you doing a speech in Fresno? And now I'm going to San Diego. And why are you doing a speech in San Diego? You won the nomination. You don't have to do any speeches for a while. I said, you know why? Because I promised the people I was going to come and make a speech. That's all. That's all. It's a vital tool. It's an important tool. It's maybe the most important tool that they can think of. We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice. I love the Mexican people. I love the Mexican people. But we have people that are in our country legally and they can't get jobs because other people are coming in and they're taking their jobs. And we have people, they lose their houses. There's so many different things happening. So we're going to do things properly. And we want people to come into the country, by the way, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally.
People, we want them to come into our country, but we want to come into our country legally. The saddest thing I see is these students are leveraged, debt up to their neck. They can't breathe. They're scared. They're so scared. They have leveraged their entire life. They've leveraged their entire life. They have loans. And I have to tell you, the colleges are viewing the students as just a conduit because the students get government money, passes through, but the number gets higher and higher because college costs are out of control. You know, normally you want to get like a bang for your buck, right? Look what we have. We have our roads are falling apart. The airports are third world. Our airports, you go to some of these countries and you see airports the likes of which you've never seen. Our airports, you leave Dubai
You leave Qatar. They had this massive airport. And I said, this is the finest I've seen. It's unbelievable. He goes, no, Donald. No, you don't understand. This is just temporary. There's our airport over there. And he points to the horizon. There's like 30 cranes building this incredible airport. I said, you have to be kidding. And then we fly home to LaGuardia.
And he said some things that were really true. He said, for the people of Indiana, he said, Donald Trump's going to be a great president. I will. I mean, I'm going to work so hard to be great for you people.
He is not a true conservative. And I say, folks, first of all, I am a conservative. But they wouldn't say I'm conservative on trade, because a conservative is supposed to want free trade. It doesn't matter how badly you get ripped off. It doesn't matter that this country is losing all of its jobs, all of its money.
Because I know the people in this room. I could take 90% of the people in this room, put them in charge of some of these trade deals that we make with these different countries, and our country would be flush. We'd be rolling in dough. Does anybody think they couldn't do a better deal? Raise your hand if you think you couldn't do the better deal. Is anybody? Oh, he raised his hand. He hit the guts. Get out of here. We don't want you. He's not a true home builder, Albert. That was very cute. Thank you. I'm sure you don't believe that, but that's okay. If you do, boy, your business must be suffering, right?
But you know why it's fun for me to win? For the end result. Not because I want to win like aimlessly. I want to win because I know how great our country can be. I really do. I know how great our country can be.
We have some very good people in government. With a little leadership, this country is going to sail. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be so beautiful.
So I had a long, beautiful speech written, and I read it. I said, boy, this is boring. This is not what we want to talk about. Because I know a lot of the pastors. I know some of the pastors in the room, and I refuse to put them to sleep, right? So I said, take down those teleprompters. Let's talk.
We should have a law that when you're running for president, you're not allowed to use a teleprompter because you end up getting some stiff that just reads his speech. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It is wonderful to be in Albuquerque.
I'm on lines, and we sign, and we shake hands with people. Every 20th person says to me, Mr. Trump, I mean, these are 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old people. They say, Mr. Trump, I've never voted before. You're the first time in my life that I'm voting.
You know, it's interesting. If I could speak to them for like 5 minutes, we want a strong military. We want to take care of our people. We want good education. We want good housing. We want good health care. What do we want? We're all in for the same thing. Really amazing. Really amazing.
Our country is getting wise to what's happening, folks. We're getting wise to what's happening. It's a big scam, and we're all being scammed together, and we're not going to take it anymore, okay? We're not going to take it anymore. Just to show you how dishonest the system is, we're all in a rigged system, folks. I'm going to break up the rigged system, believe me. Believe me. So the system is against me, and you know what? It has been from the beginning, but I love it because there's nothing better than beating the system. People don't understand what's happening. All over the country, this is happening. Look at this crowd. This is a lot of people. Thank you. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. We're going to have a very interesting race. So polls are coming out all over the place that we're winning. We're winning. I love to win. We're going to win for the country. Forget about me. We're winning for our country. We need it. We need it.